Welcome to the Glen Alex Show, where your health matters, set your mind, let it flow. Joyful, connected, confident, complete. Let Glen Alex help you back on your feet. The Glen Alex Show.
Greetings. I'm Glen Alex, your host of The Glen Alex Show, live on the Bold Brave TV network. Each episode of The Glen Alex Show is focused on a different area of health because my life's work is about total health. And I am on a mission to help as many
Oh, we
people as
have
I
one
can
viewer.
be joyful, connected, confident, and complete the life experience we call wealth, WELLTH, which is health plus other riches. And this episode of The Glen Alex Show is about being fit, happy, and healthy. And so please help me welcome my guest, Brad Carlson, who will lead us through that journey. Hi, Brad. How you doing? Can he? I don't think he can hear me. Brad, can you hear me? It looks like he's still listening to my theme song. Okay. So the reason I wanted to have Brad on the Glen Alex Show was because of his story, his journey from um, being overweight and unhealthy, and the path he took to become fit, happy, and healthy. So, Brad, you there? Okay. I don't know if he can hear me.
Yeah, I can't hear anyone.
Okay. Okay, we are back. You know, I love to say that technology is great when it works. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work. So we
So
were
true.
interrupted by technology when I was introducing Brad Carlson. So, Brad, welcome to the Glen Alex Show.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you very much for having me. Yeah, technology is always fun.
It definitely is. Thank you for being here. Um, Now, the reason I wanted to have you on the show was because when I read your story, I was inspired by it. I've been on the path to health for a long, long time, yet how you described your journey really impacted me. So I wanted you to share that with everyone. But before we get into the different pieces of your story, just take a minute and introduce yourself.
Sure, sure. Yeah, my name is Brad. I'm your couch to healthy coach, as I like to call it. I started my health and wellness journey, I guess, weight loss journey, which I call it a health and wellness journey now, but I started that about 13 years ago, and I did not know anything about anything. I didn't know anything about exercise. I didn't know anything about eating. I didn't know anything about anything, and they didn't really have, coaches or anything like that 13 years ago. It was just, not really a field then or anything. And slowly, bit by bit, I started to climb that mountain and learned a little bit here and a little bit there, and managed to go, as I like to call it, couch to marathon runner, or couch to mountain trail runner, or all of that. And it's not just a change in health; it's a change in entire lifestyle. And it just was able to flip everything around. You can see I'm smiling. I'm just so blessed to be here and to be with you. And yeah, but that's essentially my journey. And so for the past 13 years, I've just been on this health and wellness mission to help, like you were mentioning, to teach others, to educate others, and to inspire others how they can also live the healthy lifestyle and go from what I call couch to healthy living.
Okay. Well, I am so glad you made that journey and was successful at it and still successful, actually. Now,
Thank you.
I want to take a look at the individual parts of your journey because sometimes when we talk about health, it's too broad and it's too vague for people, I think, to digest. and to identify where they can relate to and make the appropriate changes for themselves. So, set the stage for us. Where were you before you began this journey? What was going on in your world that led you to it?
I was very tired, very depressed, very low self esteem, no mission in life, no purpose in life, no
Mm.
anything. Overweight. I was 50 pounds overweight, no direction, not a clue about anything. I like to joke about this part now. My breakfast every day was a glass of chocolate milk and a pizza, like I think they're called Hot Pockets, something like that, a pizza Hot
Um,
Pocket. And that was my breakfast every day. And I thought that was a healthy breakfast. And I had no clue that, all the sugar that's contained in chocolate milk. I mean, I never used to read food labels, nutrition labels, any of that. So yeah, I was there. I was still married at the time, and I was just in my bedroom and sitting on the bed one day, and I looked down and I couldn't see my thighs. I had, for men, what I call a beer gut, a Santa Claus belly, a 18 pack, I like to call it, spare tire. And that's when just all the pain set in, all the emotions, just, how disappointed I was with myself, how disgusted I was with myself. I, like everybody, got caught up with life, work it seems like that's it. You come home, work, and you're so tired when you get home at the end of the day, you just veg out in front of the TV. And that's what I had done. And I knew I was doing that for a couple of years, but I didn't really pay attention to what it was doing to my health or my lifestyle or my stress or my self-esteem, my self-worth, any of that, until just, I don't know, like a 2x4 hit me over the head that one day. It was November of 2009, sitting on my bed in the bedroom and just seeing this really big gut that I had. And I was just like, how could I have done this? And it
okay.
just started from there.
Okay. Well, I'm curious because a lot of my clients, when they find themselves in the position that they don't want to be in, they continue to beat themselves up instead of making that decision to change. What was the defining factor for you to decide to change rather than to dive deeper into the way you were?
That's a great question. I get asked that a lot. And the best way I can answer that, it was that I was no longer satisfied with who I was. I call that the status quo, or in some of my literature, I call it that point A. I was, like I said, disgusted with who I had become, and I basically said to myself, I can't keep living like this. I didn't understand it at the time, even how bad my health was then, but I was literally a ticking time bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And all through my 20s, I wasn't athletic or anything, but I was active. I played a lot of soccer and did a lot of traveling and hiking. And come 30, I guess you get married and you're raising a child, and work and life just takes over. And so I had to take a hard look at myself. And that's what I tell everybody. You have to take a hard look at yourself where you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your starting point. That's like your starting line, is where you are. And if you're truly not satisfied, like, I don't know if I'd use the word disappointed or disgusted in yourself like I was with me, but if that's where you are, that's the starting point to change right there. And there has to be that spark, that something inside of you. I call that your desire muscle, that says, okay, no more of this current status quo. We have to make a change, and then it starts from there.
Okay. And you're absolutely right. Honest self-reflection is crucial to any change path. And when I say honest self reflection, I mean without judgment, without the I'm weak, I'm lazy, I'm unlovable, I'm stupid, none of that stuff. Just this is the way it is, and this is where I am. And you're right, that's the starting point because a lot of people want to be where they're not. You can only start where you are. So after you made that
Yeah, and you make
decision,
a great point.
go
Yeah, you
ahead,
make
go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, you make a great point about the self judgment part. I beat myself way up way too much in the beginning. Like, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not worthy enough. I had all of that in the beginning. Like I said, my self esteem was about as low as you could get.
Okay. So once you made that decision, what was the first thing you did?
So that's a great question because what I know now is not what I knew 13 years ago. So the first thing I did, I didn't know what to do. I had an exercise bike in my garage and I started to ride it, and I didn't know for how long or how hard. So I would just get on it for 30 minutes or an hour and think, oh, I did really good, and had no clue that I should like start eating healthy. So I was still eating exactly the same, even though I was
Okay.
riding the bike. Well, that lasted for, I remember this part of the journey, that lasted for 3 weeks. Like after three
Okay.
weeks, I completely lost motivation again and was almost back to square one. I know so much more now about this journey that I would tell people. It's about having a vision of who you want to become, and it's about becoming a better version of yourself. It's not about losing weight or even getting healthy at all. It's about you becoming the best version of you and having that vision in mind. And so I understand that now, but back then I didn't. So I just started doing they call it throwing spaghetti at the wall. I rode an exercise bike for 3 weeks. Well, that didn't work. So a friend gave me a home exercise program, which I was absolutely determined to finish this 90-day home exercise program. So I did, but I still didn't know what I was doing. And I lost like 30 pounds, but within 2 weeks of finishing that program, I gained 12 pounds back
Okay.
because I still didn't understand. I still had no clue. I was like blindly following, just all of this stuff. So I had to really start to learn and understand. But the real pivotal point came for me. It was February of 2013, so I'm about 3 years into the journey, and I'm in the middle of my divorce at this time. When I like to tell this story, I was sitting on my couch. It was just me in the house, and my dog would not come over to me to let me pet him. He just kind of looked at me like, dude, you're a total loser, and wouldn't come over to me, and that like just crushed me. And he went back over to his bed and laid down, and that's when my second miracle happened, where I realized that what we focus on we become. And in that moment I realized I had been focusing on everything that I did not want in life. I
Mm-hmm.
did not want to be a couch potato. Well, what was I was still a couch potato.
Potato.
I did not want to be uptight, grumpy, lethargic. Well, what was I was uptight, grumpy, lethargic. I did not want to be an irritable person. Well, exactly what was I was an irritable person. And so that moment changed the entire journey when I realized that what you focus on, you become. So I asked myself the question, and this is key for anybody in this journey, is, well, what is it that I do want? What is it that I do want to become? And in that moment, I just I want to be healthy. And that switched everything. That was the key pivotal point that got me off of the yo-yo cycle. I call it the wash, rinse, repeat cycle, because for 3 years I had been on this on again, off again, gain weight, lose weight, and just kind of still throwing spaghetti at the wall because I hadn't made a choice of who I wanted to be. And after my
Okay.
dog wouldn't come over to me that night, I was like, oh, that's what did it for me. I choose to be this healthy person now. And that was a 180 flip on my mindset and have never looked back since.
Okay. Okay. That's a great story. And even though pets do give unconditional love, tough love is for me a factor of unconditional love, because without tough love, it wouldn't have gotten your attention, that you still were not headed in the direction that you wanted to be. So give your dog a hug for me.
I will, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So after you had that second revelation, what was the first thing you did?
The first thing I did, I remember this. I went and got a bag of spinach
Okay. Wow.
because I realized that I still was not eating healthy. And I thought, I need to start eating healthy. What's a healthy food that I can eat? A healthy food is spinach. That's the very first thing I did, is I started
Okay.
to change up my eating right there.
Okay. Well, hold that thought. It's time to take a short break. This is Glen Alex on the Glen Alex Show, live on the Bold Brave TV network. When we return, Brad and I will talk more about his path to health and the steps that can help you lead a healthier life. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. We are back. I'm your host, Glen Alex, and this is the Glen Alex Show, live on the Bold Brave TV network. We are here with Brad Carlson, author and certified health coach, talking about his path to health from couch, whatever, to being a fit, happy, and healthy person. And so we left off with his second move in knowing that he needed to do something to change, which was nutrition. So you bought a bag of spinach, you ate that, and what did that lead you to?
Spinach.
Popeye.
It's they say that they say the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a first step. So that was my first step to really jumping into all things health and wellness, and I just wanted to know more. So I started researching and asking questions, and a huge difference that made it for me that might help your listeners is I signed up for a 5K race to challenge myself. I became, couch to 5K that just kept on going and going and going. But having that goal to really challenge yourself was really critical to my journey in the first couple of years.
Okay. And you completed the 5K?
Yeah, I wound up doing, I don't know, 40 or 50 of them, plus I think about half a dozen half marathons and a marathon, and I think 7 or 8 Spartan races. Yeah, I did a whole lot. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. So I imagine that when you started running, that you had to combine your knowledge and learn more about nutrition and fitness, how they go hand in hand. Did you seek out a professional or did you study on your own?
It was mostly studying on my own,
Okay.
books, internet, reading a lot of training plans, I remember reading a lot of, like men's health nutrition, something like that, reading a lot of articles, oh, do this for a protein diet or high carbohydrate. A huge turning point for me when I discovered as an endurance athlete, Dr. Phil Maffetone and his methodology about getting under control the insulin resistance, which a lot of people have trouble with.
Mhm.
I was still having trouble with, and then learning to properly train at an exercise heart rate. The formula is 180 minus your age, so that was a huge turning point too. Dr. Phil Maffetone and his methods.
Okay, that's very interesting. Very interesting. Now, how long did it take you to lose the 50 pounds or to get fit?
To lose the 50 pounds, I'm not going to lie, it took 8 years.
Okay, and how long have you kept it off?
Yeah. So I've kept it off for about 6 years now, for
Oh,
all
wow.
50 pounds. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. To
Congratulations.
finally, Thank you, to finally understand this journey, what it takes to keep it off. Yeah, it took me 8 years to lose it and 6 years to keep it off. And it's interesting you asked the question, how long did it take to get fit? I started this journey in 2009 and I was fit in 2014, but I didn't get healthy until probably 2019, 2020, only within the last couple of years. There's a big difference between being fit and healthy.
Oh, yes, there is. And I was going there next because I want you to define what fit is, define what happy is, and define what healthy is for you.
Oh, those are great questions. So being fit for me is all your numbers, your pulse, your resting heart rate, your blood chemistry, your cholesterol level, your body fat percentage, all of that stuff. That's being fit. Being healthy for me took on an entirely new meaning. Being healthy has nothing to do with your numbers. For me, being healthy has everything to do with your spirit, your energy, and how you are feeling. So the fitter I got, the more burned out I got, and actually the less healthy I got until I learned what you mentioned about self-love and self-care, and learn to back off my training and to have a cheat meal once in a while. So
Hmm.
healthy for me really means the energy that you have and how you're feeling. Do you feel like awesome, like you're on top of the world? If that's the case, then you're healthy. And then happiness for me is just really a state of being, like, how are you feeling on the inside? Life is not everybody focuses on what we do for a living, but I try to focus on who I am for a living and who I'm
Hmm.
being in the moment. And that's the key to happiness right there. That's the key to being fit. That's the key to being healthy. That's the key to happiness, is to focus on who you are being. And so I try to focus on being fit. Love, health, and happiness is what I say now, or fit, happy, healthy. But yeah, that's what I try to focus on being now.
Okay. That sounds a lot like what I call total health. You deal with the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual, and they are interdependent parts of total health. Far too often, we only focus on diet and exercise at the exclusion of the
Yes.
other elements, and we fall out of balance, and that creates a condition for dis-ease. So, thank you so much for your definitions, because I want everybody to be totally healthy. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Now, just take a moment, and it took you what, 5 years to lose the weight, or you've had it off since for 6 years. Can you speak for a moment about, because you are a certified health coach, the gender differences
Mhm.
in weight loss and weight management?
Boy, that's a great question. And I would say, it's not a one size fits all for everyone. And I went through a lot of trial and error with what worked and what didn't work. And I should also say, through my journey, what really made me fit and healthy was I had to do the inner work. I tell this part very quickly. I took 6 months where I wrote down my entire mindset, my beliefs about everything, and went through that to clear all that up, to do the inner work. But in
Okay.
terms of the gender differences between men and women, the key issue there is hormones and hormonal balance, especially if you're over 40 years old. But there are some basics that apply to both, which is I teach a technique called intermittent eating, which is similar to intermittent fasting, but a little bit different. I use the Phil Maffetone heart rate method of 180 minus your age. And I always emphasize, every single day, at least 2 times per day, get 5 minutes of exercise in at a bare minimum, and 80% whole healthy foods. That's the bare minimum that a man or a woman should be doing. And based on that, you start adjusting and tweaking that formula per person. But it comes down also to hormonal balance.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. It's time to take another short break. And when we come back, Brad and I will talk more about his path to health and how it can help you. I invite all of you who are watching live to send us your comments. You can go online now, type some comments. We will see them and can respond to them, time allowing. And we would love to hear from you. We'll open up the phone lines a little later, but you can comment anytime. So, this is Glen Alex, live on the Bold Brave TV network with the Glen Alex Show. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm Glen Alex on the Glen Alex Show, live on the Bold Brave TV network. I am here with Brad Carlson, listening to his inspiring story and health journey. And we left off talking about the steps he took to start to get fit and healthy, and how he defines fit, happy, and healthy. And so I just want to take a look now at just a few specific elements of health, and how Brad used those, or employed those on his journey. What role did sleep have in your journey?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Glenn? What role did what have?
Sleep.
Oh, sleep.
Sleep.
Oh,
Yes.
boy, that is a good question. Sleep is such a critical element in the overall health journey that is given very little attention. I've always been fortunate enough to sleep very good.
Okay.
For me personally, sleep has never been an issue. A biohack that I always use, that I tell my clients in terms of sleeping, is set your intention to get a good night's sleep. Do a brain dump before you go to bed. Just whatever stress, whatever you got going on in the world, it'll still be there tomorrow when you wake up. Trust me. Just I call it a brain dump. Just whatever, a big 5 minutes of deep breathing before you go to sleep, and just
Okay.
dump everything out, and just tell yourself, I'm going to get a good night's sleep no matter what. And that's been one of the keys for me. So I I've traveled all over the world. I can sleep in chairs. I can sleep in bright lights. I can sleep in taxi cabs. I can sleep curled up in the back seat of a car. Yeah, very fortunate. But it's because I've trained my mind with that to, hey, you know what? No matter the conditions, I'm going to get a good night's sleep and just brain dump and good night's sleep. That's what's done it for me.
Okay. Yeah, sleep is crucial, and you can't lose weight without good sleep. The body needs to rest and rejuvenate. So, talk about, boy, there's so many elements to go to. Talk about your mindset in
Ah,
in your path to health, because that belief system, the limiting beliefs, hold us back in ways that we don't know or can't imagine.
yeah, so becoming fit, happy, healthy, it's an inner journey. It really is. Like I said, I spent 6 months dealing with my limiting beliefs. I completely changed up my vocabulary. To give you an example, I don't use the word diet anymore. I say healthy eating. I don't use the word exercise anymore. I say wellness movement because I want to use words that empower me, that
Yes.
excite me, that motivate me, that inspire me. I don't say the word I'm on a diet now. I say something like, I'm actively maintaining my health, something like that. Again, focus on what you want to be and what you want to become. And then I started to, yeah, really change my belief system. But I had some really, really bad beliefs that were really keeping me down. And I had to go through each belief and I asked myself those questions, what are the consequences of still having this belief? One of
Hmm.
the beliefs that I had was, well, I'm a no good peon. I'm not worthy of being healthy or being a health coach. And I had to say, well, what are the consequences of that belief? And how is that belief holding me back? And then what's the actual truth there? And the actual truth was, well, wait a second, I've been through this journey. I've done the research. I know a lot. I'm really well competent. I've done 50 or 60, I can't remember now, 70 races, something like that. I think I know what I'm talking about. So I do have some credentials there. And so you just start slowly, step by step, it's called reframing your
Yes.
beliefs, but you have to sit down and do the inner work. So that involves getting out your journal, a pen and paper, and just what are my beliefs about health? What are my beliefs about food? What are my beliefs about um, exercise? What are my beliefs about money? What are my beliefs about romance? What are my beliefs about my job, my work, all of that? Go through each belief one by one, and yeah, and just start reframing and repurposing each belief. It does take work. I'm not going to lie. Going from couch to healthy takes work.
It
The
takes a
easy
lot of
part,
work.
and I don't want to scare people, but the easy part is the diet and exercise parts. The hard part is the taking a look in the mirror, who you are and who you want to become. But if you're really serious about yourself, your health, and well-being in your life, yeah, you'll make time for yourself.
Thank you. Self talk is crucial to um,
Yeah.
any positive, long lasting, effective changes and to mental and emotional health, because our body hears everything we say to it. Everything. And
Yes.
if you have trouble identifying what your specific beliefs are, then just look at your choices and the outcomes. They are reflective of your self-talk and what you believe about yourself, because if you're in a bad relationship, whether it's abusive or not, then you probably believe you don't deserve better. So you can identify your beliefs by your situation, your conditions, and your choices. So I really appreciate you explaining that and how it worked for you, because it's huge, huge. Now, before we go a little further, I want to again invite comments. If you're online watching live now, you can type in comments. We will see them and get ready for um, to call in next segment. The number is 866-451-1451, 866-451-1451. And Brad and I will be happy to take your calls and check out your comments as well. Now, while we still have a little time left in this segment, tell us about Walking for Health.
Oh, Walking for Health. Okay, that's a program that I created specifically for 40 plus years old, with the goal in mind that you have to, whatever decisions you're making about your health and well-being in your 30s or 40s will have a dramatic impact on your life in your 60s, 70s, and 80s. So the Walking for Health is a long-term health management program to help you keep your balance, your mobility, your flexibility, your strength, and your agility and coordination, all of those all wrapped into one, well into your golden years, your 70s and 80s, so that you can still function independently on your own without a cane, without a walker, and that your excitement about going to the health food store versus going to the doctor. Like, oh, Brad, I got to go to the doctor today. It's like, no, that's the wrong excitement. We got to go to the health food store today. That's what we're excited about.
Okay.
So that's a
Now,
long-term health maintenance and program for 40 and over.
okay, okay, excellent. Thank you for that. So it's time to take another quick break. Um, when we come back, Brad and I will be ready to take your calls and respond to your comments. The number is 866-451-1451. This is Glen Alex, and you're watching The Glen Alex Show live on the Bold Brave TV network. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back to speak with you. Welcome back. I'm Glen Alex, your host of The Glen Alex Show, live on the Bold Brave TV network. I am here with Brad Carlson, author and certified health coach, learning all about his inspirational journey from the couch to being fit, happy, and healthy. And it is an amazing story that everyone can learn something from. And so we invite you to call in right now. The lines are open. Dial 866 451 1451. 866 451 1451. Okay, Brad. So while we're waiting for calls and comments to come in, what is a typical question you are asked about weight loss?
Gosh, one of the most common ones I get asked is how do you find the discipline to do this every day? And the secret is it's not discipline, it's desire. Discipline is something that forces you. Desire is something that pulls you, and you definitely want to be pulled because then you're more in alignment with this journey. So tap into what's in your heart with who you want to become, that higher version of you. I tell everyone now, start out with the highest vision of you. Who do you want to become? Have the mindset, focus on that, and then know your why. Why do you want to do this journey? Why do you want to become that person? And those three right there will trump discipline. Discipline doesn't work. I'm sorry. People
Right.
will disagree with me, but it doesn't.
Discipline and willpower.
Yeah, willpower doesn't work either. It's desire rooted in those three things: your vision, your mindset, and understanding your why. And you have those three things in place solid, you'll be on this journey for the rest of your life.
Okay.
And then it gets fun because you get to the effortless effort stage, what I call.
Okay. Now, is that what you learned when I've read in your profile that you discovered that you had fitness without happiness.
Yeah.
So was your why a little askew?
Yeah, my why was off. Because I was trying to use discipline to force myself to, train every day, which it works in the short term, but not the long term. I want this to be a long term journey for everyone. I want this to be from day one until, you're no longer breathing, so to speak. And so, yeah, it was desire with a couple cups of determination, but knowing. Again, it took me several years to learn this, but the vision, the mindset, and the why. Yeah. When you have, and you can't have an external why either. I always try to tell that to clients. Your why, like, I want to fit into a certain size dress, or even like, more powerful ones. I want to have more energy for my grandkids or something like that. Those are great whys, but they're external. They focus on something outside of yourself. You have to do this journey for you. It has to be from within. And so my why became through some experiences that I had, that if I take care of my mind, body, and spirit, see, there's all three of those, my mind, body, and spirit will take care of me. And that never goes away.
Yeah. Absolutely. I have to admit that the question that you're typically asked about weight loss is not what I expected you to say. I expected you
Oh,
to the question to be how many calories do I need to burn a day or something like that.
oh, yeah, I do get asked those too. And it's interesting. I've done all the tracking my macros, counting calories, weighing my food, and none of that lasts. None of that is sustainable. It may last for several weeks or months or a year or two, but no, once you learn healthy eating and the practice I teach called intermittent eating, I eat, and when your system is trained to use fat for fuel, I don't know if you've heard that phrase,
Hmm.
but you really only need one, maybe two meals a day. I eat one really big healthy meal a day most days, and sometimes two, but usually never more than two. And snacking is very rare. If I do snack, it'll be some carrots and peanut butter or something. I drink a lot of water every day.
Okay.
I don't count calories at all. I don't count macros at all anymore. It does not work in the long run. In the short run, maybe for a little while. But again, we want this to be sustainable. So you have to learn the habits and the skills to do this. So intermittent eating is a skill that you learn.
Okay.
And when you're rooted in your vision, your mindset, and your why, those are the three factors you need to form a new habit too. People say, well, I need 21 days to form a new habit. I need 60 days to form a new habit. No, you could do something every day for a year and still not be a habit if you don't have your vision, mindset, and why behind that. You just look at
Okay.
military people. They exercise every day, virtually every day, their entire military career, whether they've been in 5 years, 20 years. But what I've seen so many military people, what happens as soon as they get out of the military? They gain a lot of weight.
Yeah. Okay.
So where's the discipline there? Where's because it's not about that. It's
Right.
so I tell people it takes 5 seconds to form a new habit once you know your vision, your mindset, and your why. And then you learn the skill of healthy eating, intermittent eating. You learn the skill of what I call slow, easy cardiovascular movement. And then just combine that with some natural movement and some strength training. And voila, you have instant
Okay.
recipe for long-term sustainable exercise.
Okay. That's a lot, Brad.
Yeah,
That is a
I
lot to
know.
digest.
It is. It is. I know.
Okay. So, would you recommend that someone on this path who wants to start a path to be healthier, that they do get initial diagnostics? They go to the doctor, get the lab, so they'll know what their baselines are.
If they're interested in that and they want to know, yeah, I would recommend that. You certainly don't need to do that. I've done this journey long enough to know that you don't really need to do that. But if you are interested in that and you want to track your progress, I'm sure I would go ahead and tell someone to do that.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So, and can you take a minute and tell us what adventure fitness is?
Oh boy, I need a lot more than a minute. Adventure fitness, that's
Well,
one of my baby programs.
you have 30 seconds.
That is that is modeled after tribal cultures. Tribal cultures are always moving from point A to point B. They're always ducking, twisting, bending in nature, stepping over logs, carrying heavy rocks, carrying a big animal back to camp.
Mm.
So it's based on the way tribal people moved through the land.
Oh,
It's an awesome
interesting.
program, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll let people know how they can find out more. So, right now, it's time to take another short break. I'm Glen Alex, and this is the Glen Alex Show live on the Bold Brave TV network. When we come back, Brad will sum up his path to health and how you can be fit, happy, and healthy. So, stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm Glen Alex, host of The Glen Alex Show on the Bold Brave TV network. Here with Brad Carlson, author and certified health coach. I'm just fascinated by his story and his journey, and I really hope you've learned something from it. So, Brad, thank you for inspiring us with your journey. If you can, sum it up in one nugget. What is the one thing you want people to know about the path to health?
I would sum it up in three words: be the source. And what I mean
Okay.
by that is, yeah, be the source. For me, it's be the source of love, health, and happiness. So that goes back to, who do you want to be? That's your vision. Why do you want to be that vision? And then your mindset focusing on that vision. That vision, all those three, that becomes your source. Be the source. That's how you go from couch to healthy right there. That's how you make it sustainable. That's how you make it last so that it's not a yo-yo program anymore. And that's something you won't find in any exercise or diet program anywhere, but that's what it's about. Be the source. If you want to see more health in the world, you have to be that source to be healthy.
Exactly. You have to be the change you seek.
Yep,
Thank you
that's
so
it right
much. Thank you so much for that. That's awesome. Be the source. I love that. I love that.
there.
So, if anyone has a question or wants a consultation with you, how can they contact you?
Right now, you can contact me at my website, which is very simple, trainingwithcoachbrad.com, and everything is on there.
Okay. All right. Oh boy. Brad, thank you so much for your time and sharing your story and imparting your wisdom. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Glenn. And again, anybody listening, I don't care where you are, how healthy, unhealthy you are, change is possible. Absolutely for you and your life.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. And thank you for joining us today. We really hope that you learned from Brad's journey and will implement the elements of total health into your journey to health. It's you're a whole person, and every single part of you matters. Your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual being. Ignoring one at the expense of just paying attention to one at the expense of others puts you in imbalance, which leads to dis-ease. And I don't want that for you. I want you to be healthy on every level. And please be sure to individualize your path to health. It's one thing to take information in, to use it and see if it works for you. If it doesn't, do something else. If it works, then keep doing it. But these experts, don't follow them to the letter. It must resonate with you. And as Brad said, you must be the source. It must be something you desire. Okay. And please don't be shy about reaching out for help from your primary healthcare provider or from a coach like Brad, because Brad's health journey led him to be fit, happy, and healthy. And I am on a mission to help you be joyful, connected, confident, and complete. For more information on my mission and my work in total health, please visit glenalex.com. And join us next week on The Glen Alex Show, live on the Bold Brave TV network for your health. I'm Glen Alex, and until next time, be well.
Joyful, connected, confident, complete.